Hello everyone, Big G here, and welcome back to episode 10 of this Let's Survive a Rimworld series. And where we're up to, we've got 10 colonists now, very appropriate for the 10 episode, I feel. And we are split. It seems that half the colony, well, some of the colony, supports the notion of forming a cult, as the other half seem to not. So we're going to have to see whether we can either convince those people like Fab up here as to whether they want to join the cult or they want to die. And basically, I definitely sort of feel that the latter might have to be the route which we go by. We can't unfortunately tolerate people that don't believe in Brexit. Brexit means Brexit. So yes, there we go. Um, well, I don't want to debating what to do next. I feel like we've got a relatively robust defense set up. Where we are on the mountain is good. We've got ourselves a dorm going. I'm going to get ourselves a hospital. That is always quite important. And I suppose hydroponics of some description would be important at some extent to some at some point. Sorry, I should say. That's what I meant to word. Your words are very difficult for me. I don't know what I'm doing. I've got some high grade steel somewhere. I don't know where that's come from, but I've got some apparently. That's very nice. Ooh, lovely. Well, put a wall in here, just a bit of slate wall. I don't know why I dug that out. I even considered cancelling it, but I just didn't in the end. So apologies for that. Oh my colony is like a well-oiled machine right now, except for the fact that Estes has gone berserk. Assumingly, this is because she's not insane. She's gone berserk. It's because I forgot to disable the mods when I the moods when I reloaded the game. Anyway, we know for a fact that she hates the this that he's a he. Okay, I'm so sorry about all of this. I just can't cope with these genders. It's very difficult. He's gone berserk, and we can assume that's because he hates the fact that we're a cult, right? Exactly. Uh, my plan would be just to leave him there. He can just stew and think about what he's done, basically. If he breaks in, well, he hasn't got his weapon equipped, so I'm not particularly concerned. How did you get out? Oh, it's because there's a oh, well, we'll just have to go beat him up then. Boring, but I just hope we don't kill him, basically. We should have the better of him here. We got him outnumbered. Eckhart's going to bring up the back with a peg leg. Right, there we go. And never was there a more appropriate time to get a hospital built, I find. Right, okay, unforbid those doors now. They can go through them. And let's get ourselves some beds set up in here. I suppose we will not go for a guest bed. Although getting a guest room set up might be quite good. We seem to have better relationships with other factions than I thought we did. So perhaps it is actually on the cards that we could even make friends with, well, the end of things, surprisingly, seemed to quite like us in the last episode. I think we had a 20 faction relationship with 20 or something, which isn't that bad, considering that they are supposed to be evil, sort of devil spawn. So yeah, okay, right. I'm surprised these trees haven't grown because they totally don't look like they should be growing in -8 degrees, but they are, which is good news. Also, the cacti. Well, I suppose they must be, because they do grow in the desert in reality, and deserts are cold. Well, they're both, actually. They're just dry. That's actually, I think, what desert means. Officially. I can't remember. My geography was a long time ago, when I did geography. Was considering doing it at uni for a long time. I applied to Cambridge, I got into Cambridge, and then I didn't meet the asking grade, so I was like literally in like 1% of applicants. So somehow I got in, and then I didn't meet the asking grade. Very, very closely, I should say. But I suppose I've only got myself to blame for that, and it's in the past. So moving on, I did law, and I'm now where I am. Recording videos for YouTube. Woo! Fantastic. Okay, so this is why I didn't want these notes going anywhere, because look how many they make. I mean, I know I could just press this button and get rid of them, but if they're all in one place, at least I know where they are. So the food situation is still not fantastic, to be honest. Let me have a look. There's a Toroton down here. We'll get that hunted. I'm conscious we've still got a little bit of winter left to go, and of course, even once it gets to spring, it's not going to spring instantly as such. It's going to take a bit of time. to get back to it. Everyone seems to be okay, though. Old Amado's health is not fantastic. I mean, obviously, lots of this stuff is just from being in a fight. Um, and Estes is back up, so I'm going to get him equipped with the Mozan again. We need someone with a longer range weapon. I mean, no, he's not fantastic with it, if I can remember correctly. He's not great with it. But having someone with a long range weapon is still quite important, just in case we happen to fight a sniper or something at some point. We're going to settle these beds here for medical, as that's going to be a hospital, which we will need inevitably, the way that I play. And we'll try and make it warm because, of course, that is quite important actually for both living and dying, which is what either two of the options that you have when you go in hospital, according to me. I don't know. Fantastic at rambling. So the Toroton's coming in. I always find it hilarious when they carry these things. By the way, look how massive that creature looks, and he's just carrying it. And sometimes they do it with like things like elephants and oh sorry, okay, stop this from auto opening. And they do it with things like elephants and with thrombos. They're just stuff that totally looks like it shouldn't be carried in reality. But I suppose they're just much stronger than I am. I must be, you know, obviously haven't been lifting enough. I'm thinking about where these are positioned in the room. I don't really want them to block the. I just thought about how these rooms could be arranged. That's fine. It's not a priority for now because obviously we don't have any. We don't have a second person in either of these. But obviously I don't want the stool to block the door at any point because obviously it will slow people down. What a boring thing to say. I'm sorry, but it's true. Yeah, we're trying to keep a colony of the utmost efficiency here. That's the standard to which we hold ourselves here in Farageville. I don't know. Very odd. Okay, so we've got some beds going. They're all okay, actually, with the exception of this one here, which is shoddy. We've got some quite good builders. Awful bed, that's not going to be allowed to exist any longer. The poor bed, it's a shame. Obviously, for recovery, it's not as important. The shoddy is just about acceptable, I'd say. I think shoddy is one level up from poor. I can never quite remember. But if you go on the bills list and you go to here, you can actually find out. So it goes poor. Yes. Oh, shoddy is better. It's worse than poor. I didn't know that. So we'll keep the. It doesn't sound like it should be to me. In my opinion, shoddy sounds worse than poor, but I have no idea really. I don't think if I hired a tradesperson and they tried to argue the distinction between shoddy and poor to me, I know at that point I would be very happy anyway. So yes, we're trying to avoid that. Turrets wise, my turrets have always been destroyed quite easily, but I quite like that in some ways. Because they are a distraction, they do give an option for particularly my short range shotguns to get involved in the fight. So I'm enjoying that fact very much. The fact that we have got those out there, so we can fight off people with quite easily. Getting 2 more beds in here. The research for this god is taking a very long time. And I suppose most religions on Earth were not established in a few days, but it still makes me wonder whether what research they're actually doing and how long it is taking. We're fine for food, actually. That's because I've already killed the Toroton. But yes, so it's always nice to have a bit in reserve. Having more meals stacked I find better than keeping raw food stacked, just because it stacks more efficiently and you don't have to worry about things being wasted. Right, I'm not happy about that. Someone's wasted me some stone blocks. And it's a shoddy. But this room counts as being slightly impressive now, which is pretty surprising. I might even go pretty extravagant and smooth the floor in here. This is to do with the walking speed, which at the moment, if you look in the bottom left corner, you can see is only 93%. If they smooth it, it goes to 100%. But it's also considered very impressive. I've never considered smooth floors to be a very impressive thing myself, but I suppose I don't live on a Rimworld where I have to survive by eating the flesh of my enemies. So I suppose in the grand scheme of things, that probably is quite good. Oh, come on, just do a better job, please. It's because Carolee isn't building these, really. She should be the only one that builds these beds. In fact, no, don't worry about deconstructing it. Just power it. Just do it. Just do it. Go on, do it now. I don't know what effect having better beds does. I know it contributes to the quality of a room in general. Like if you have impressive furniture, you can see here uh, the beds that have a higher, like this one here, they have a higher rating than other beds, and there's a few negative ratings in here too. But I mean, obviously that's not so important for us. I think I'm obsessed with having good beds. I don't know. Maybe that's the priority that I've set up for myself. We'll get another marble bed going. Kenny has been initiated into the cult. Excellent, fantastic. That's what I'd like to hear. Uh, so how many cultists does that put us at? So we have one definite cultist in Amado. We have one definite cultist in Kenny. Anna is ambivalent. Mauro is ambivalent. Estes hates the colony. Whitman's ambivalent. Carolee absolutely despises the cult, as does Fab. But I don't think Carolee will do anything about it because she won't do violence. So she's a pretty wet sponge on that one. And then Rising and Eckhart are both cultist as well. Our leader being Eckhart until we have our next election, uh, which I don't know actually how frequently they come around, but we have got one. Yeah, that's interesting actually, because I can always go down here and manually trigger an election. I don't think we've been here for a year yet. A year is in like a how many seasons go past in the game. I think obviously, well, you know how many seasons go. It's four. We came in spring. It's now winter, so I think by the beginning of summer, I would have liked to have triggered a new election. I think about a year is the right period of time for people to, yeah, for people to be leaders in this colony. I'm going to activate the smelter. Everyone seems to be very idle at the moment. I have noticed that. I'm not really keeping on top of things. I'm rambling a lot. I'm talking a lot. So I think what I'd like to do is it'd be quite nice to keep the shrine as it is, although I don't like the fact that there are doors either side of that. So I'm going to disable those and build something else. If I can build slate. Do I have any slate? No, I don't. So it'll be marble then. We'll build these here. We'll try and make a very impressive looking shrine. I think that will be nice. Don't ask me why. I think that would be nice. Now, what's culty? So none of these things here, but I think I have got pews somewhere. There's thinkable pews. So if I go for these and is that a bit close? Do you think that's a bit close? These also seem like the wrong way round to me because I can't rotate them. That's weird. Ah, they do that. Oh, wonderful. Oh, look at that. Oh, that sounds good. And then can I get these set up? A light source which is weatherproof. Gas street gas that uses phosphatic flame. What's the difference? Ooh. An inner gas mantle. So this one uses slightly less gas or components. So we'll try and build that. Of course, they're totally just for aesthetic purposes, but I like the idea of using I like the idea of using gas lamps as opposed to electric lights in my shrine. Uh, just seems a bit more creepy, you know? Like the kind of place you'd sacrifice a human being. Right, okay, so we've got some cargo pods. That's good. Let's see what we've got. What's that? A peony honey. I wonder if I can eat that. Uh, delicious honey diffused by the. I mean, obviously, it is food, so I'm going to take it. But I don't know if that's specifically something only the Apeni can eat, or it is just all colonists. I might also try and smooth the floor in all the main corridors. Here we go. So like that, just because that will help our colonists move a bit quicker. I'd like to get some kind of actual flooring in the. We'll go for marble tiles in the shrine. There we go. We're burning through our marble, I am very well aware, but I mean, obviously, we're going to be constantly generating it as we are also digging out more space. I don't know what this would be. I suppose we can make this another dorm. So this one is 5 by 8. So we'll go for 5 by 8. There we go. Like so. That would be good. Temperature's good in both of these rooms. Oh, we've got more cargo pods. Obviously, the storyteller's feeling. Oh, plasteel. There's only 13 of it, but it's always worth having, actually. Yeah, so, okay, so we're doing all right. I'm pretty happy. I would like to get a proper research bench set up. Unfortunately, the cult research has to happen at the Forbidden Knowledge Center. I can turn this off now. I don't know if we smelted all the stuff that we want to. Can I prioritize the bills? No. That was... Who is set to crafting? Riesling, Carolee, or Fab? So we'll go for, well, Fab, I suppose. Need materials. Okay, so we can't work on anything at the smelter at the moment. What else can I do here? So I can smelt metal from armor. That's not really relevant at the moment. Oh, I can smelt from here. I don't know what happens if I refine raw crystals. Let's do that. We're not using them as a building material, so I suppose we can just do it. And if we can, I don't know if they're better if you use them once they've been refined or not. Who knows? We'll find out next time on. Oh, I don't know. What an exciting cliffhanger, eh? So we got the peony honey. It's just in our freezer. Yeah, that'll be fine. We'll be alright. So if we're digging out another dorm here, we need to get a few more production rooms going on. Maybe a big internal store. I don't know. What's the priority here? We've got 4 cells. That's the capacity of... Well, it's not really... Let's rearrange these rooms. I said I wasn't really happy with the way these were arranged. We'll get 1 bed here, and we'll get another bed here. And then we'll get 1 bed here, a 2nd bed here, which means that I should be able to put that there. Yeah, okay, so I just want to make sure that my calculations are correct. I think they are. Although most calculations I've ever done in my life have always been have always been wrong. But I won't talk about that. I think someone's been refining crystals. I've heard them. I want to know where the refined crystals have gone. There they are. Yeah, amplifier crystals. So a specialized focusing crystal used for crafting and lesser grease psionics. Oh, so it could be something psionic that allows us to do. That would be very cool if that is the case. I would really like that to happen actually. It sort of suits the whole cultist mindset, I think. I think also maybe they use them in weapons. I mean, because I'm not using them as building materials, there's no real point having them around just as a raw resource anyway. I need a few more production rooms. I mean, obviously the kitchen can stay as it is, unless I actually just expand it out so we have a proper gathering room. Hard snow, 14th of winter. So we've got 2 days even, sorry, until our next raid. I don't know who I'm going to get to raid us. Let's have a look. I know the factions, the Vaults always seem to be friendly when you speak. The Agency are definitely hostile, as are any of the Cthulhu creatures. Sailors are sometimes hostile. Crystals are usually hostile. Oh, there's a lot of stuff here though, isn't there? We could do a Soviet or a Wehrmacht assault, I don't know. Kenny researches someone is watching him. That's right, they are. Probably about 3 billion viewers by now, I imagine. That's how it works, right? So that's a nice ambience for my shrine. I like that quite a lot. I'm not going to build a door through here. I know it would be technically more efficient, but I quite like the idea of just keeping the shrine as it is. Yeah, I do. So we'll keep it as it is. I can get a high-tech research bench, but I did mention I'd like to do. Where do I want it? So I want it here? No, not really. Yeah, so I think this is a better layout. Oh no, it's not. There's not enough room. I thought there was. I can put this here. And then I can put that there. Oh, that's what I wanted to happen. So we have capacity for, well, currently 4. But I mean, it will be more in a minute. Once I have got some more beds in here. I'm not less so fussed about the quality of these. Actually, no, I should be more fussed about the quality of these because prisoners actually care, whereas my colonists don't. There we go. We have it sorted. It's all under control. It's all under control, boys. Right. Oh, look at that. Can I worship anyone yet? No. Amado is apparently going to be my yeah. So my Amado is apparently going to be my preacher once we get our deity research. I'm going to just deconstruct these two wooden doors here. Firstly, because we need the wood, but also secondly because they're not very strong. So if I get these chunks hauled out of here as well, that'd be good. Oh, it's all looking up. Strange beasts. Oh, that doesn't sound good. Why isn't it giving me that warning? Yeah, I know. Have we not gone off beds for everyone else? Oh, apparently not. We'll turn one of these temporarily into... Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do at all. Yeah, do that. Okay, and then we will build another steel door here. Steel... Well, no, it hasn't happened yet, but ideally here as well. I'm just trying to think about if someone breaks into my colony, then what I can do. Right, so this is one of the Cult of Cthulhu creatures. I've talked a little bit about them. They're all quite cool. This is probably the least dangerous of all of them. This is Dark Young. Now, this is a tree-like being with hooved roots, carrying a mass of branched tentacles writhing around with mouths. Oh, they sound lovely. But they're the spawn of Shub Nigerus, which is one of the deities that you can research. Research, yeah, you can actually. And they act in its stead and to its worshippers in far to accept sacrifice and revenants. Now, these are dangerous, but they're only dangerous like normal predators. If you happen to fight them, they're surprisingly fast and they're very dangerous in melee combat. However, they won't actually aggro you unless, like a normal predator, they get hungry. I'm just checking around to see if there are any other animals on the map. It looks like there aren't, so I suspect it will attack me. It will have to attack me, basically, because it's going to run out of food. It has got some wounds already. They're relatively strong, but they do go down as well. Um, yeah, some wounds already, so it will be a little bit weaker than some of the ones I have fought in the past. Not ideal, but we're gonna have to fight it, I suppose. But I try to think about when my people actually ever left the wall. I mean, if it comes and attacks me, it's gonna somehow have to get through here. We're out of power again. Power is an issue. It is basically this electric smelter here, which is doing that. I would like to think that we can get enough. Do I go for more solar generators? I suppose I have to. Normally I rely on fuel generators because you don't have to use batteries then. They give out a higher energy output. But we'll go for more solar jennies. I think we have to. The turbines. Yeah. Thinking about what I can do with them. I would like to keep this area open for growing because it's be in the middle of my field, so I put it here. And if I put it here, then that's taking up a bit too much of the open space. So I think I'm going to go for 2 additional solar panels here. From what I remember, this is all sand, so there's no growing space in here. Again, I'm not a big fan of solar panels. I find they quite easily get destroyed. I feel like they don't give out the same kind of energy as the fuel generator. But they have been doing quite a good job, and I haven't played with them for a long time. I've been avoiding them, so I've actually been quite impressed. They do go over 1 megawatt actually. I thought they only ever went up to a maximum of 1 megawatt, so maybe I've just been wrong all this time. But we're getting those put up. We seem to have quite a few components kicking about, which is good because that was one of the things I was worried about. Let's move on and get some research, I suppose. They've got 1 more day until the raid, so we'll get ourselves a high-tech bench. I think for now, we'll put it in here. Or could I put it in here? I could put it in here. No, I couldn't. Block the door. I'd have to move the door, but it could actually fit it in here, so I'm going to do that. I don't like having the normal research bench. There's no point in keeping it for now. And then we will put in the steel doors, which I've been talking about for a while, here and here. And here, and of course a marble wall here. So I think I'm feeling okay about this so far. I was really worried when I started this series. I thought it was going to last about 5 minutes. I feel like we had a great start. Oh, I've just seen him eat a peony, so obviously you can eat that honey, by the way. But I just felt that it was going to be really exciting, this series, from the start. And it's not quite as exciting as I wanted it to be, but it was a great start. I don't think we've quite reached the pinnacle for that again. But we inevitably will when someone gets eaten, or ideally we have a massive fight which ends up with everyone having to kill each other, which I think at the moment is looking quite likely. I think the Dark Young is injured. I was eaten an armadillo which scratched it at some point, so there obviously was some food on the map, but I missed it. Understandably, armadillos are quite difficult to spot. Right, so I'm just disassembling these beds again. I don't want poor beds. What's the point of them? I can build a crystal lamp. Not very bright. It's electric though, so that's not so much use to that. I thought maybe the crystals emitted like an ambient light that you didn't have to fuel, which should have been really good. Oh, reinstall at no. Yeah, actually uninstall and then I can reinstall it. And then a marble stool here. So we're almost there. We are almost there, boys. I'm enjoying it. This research is taking forever. I'm so sorry. It's absolutely taking forever. Let's get Riesling back on it because he's the only one who can actually research. Everyone else who has a passion could be set to a low priority, maybe a level 2 priority. Hopefully between us we can get it done. He's no longer insane, so that's good. Although I think he probably will become quite insane quite quickly, having done this. It's still just ticking up so slowly. And a high-tech research bench, so we can now do some proper research soon. That would be good. We've almost filled our 2 batteries. It would be quite nice to move these batteries out of here, just so the corridor is slightly cleaner. I suppose what we'll do, I don't want to put them on this side. I feel like they're a bit more vulnerable. We'll put them really out of the way over here. We'll do a 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would accommodate 4 batteries. Actually, if we do that, then I can accommodate a few more. So it's 1, 2. You can see 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then another 2 here. So that would be 6 in total. I'm not going to go build all 6 now, but I just think having them a bit more cut off at the edge will be good. I don't really like them being in this corridor. I feel like they're blocking things. And a bit safer out of the way. We need the power, potentially, if we get attacked. Visitor, a slave chemist from the 91 Infanterie Abteilung is visiting the committee. It's basically a Wehrmacht soldier. He is 28 years old, but 866 years old chronologically. He's got a massive withdrawal to medics, so I don't know what he's been taking in his regiment. But other than that, what is he good at? So he's good at medicine. That's something that we don't think we have yet. Someone who's really good at medicine. Let me have a look. Doctor. Our doctor is Mauro. He's an 8, so he's a little bit better than Mauro. Not that much better than Mauro. Having to think about it. What else has he got? He's good at research. That's something we could do with. He's a bit of a socialite. Oh, he's a terrible shot. Wow. Yeah. The Wehrmacht didn't exactly recruit someone good here. His drug addict mother died. So maybe that's why the mother has no longer supplying him with a supply of drugs. Imagine if your mum was your dealer. That would be really weird, wouldn't it? And he was a slave chemist. So he's had a very much a druggy life as such. He's 28. His trade prices aren't good, maybe because he's been buying drugs his whole life, probably. So he really doesn't know what he's doing. I'm going to set this to a non-medical bed again because I think that Rising is still sleeping in the cold. And then I'm just going to get another few beds built in this room over here in exactly the same format as the other room. Yeah, when I say exactly the same format, I mean that's totally wrong. And we're going to go here like this instead. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. There we go. Right, okay, so another 8 places for another 8 colonists. Do I want to capture him? No. I'm not sure he was worth capturing, this bloke. Where's he gone? Levin. What's he eating? He's eating yogurt. That's not exactly a survival thing. I don't know many soldiers that go into battle with yogurt in their backpacks. You know, a bit of petit filou or something. That's very, very weird, isn't it? And we'll get these batteries moved into this room as I was discussing earlier. We'll just put them in there and we'll get them all hooked up with a power conduit. Do they retain their charge when you move them? Yes, they do. That's quite impressive game mechanics. I wasn't expecting that. Of course, they're not connected to the system currently, so if someone could actually build that, yes, thank you, whoever that was, Anna, well done. But Levin he's eating all the time. He's eating a cookie now. He's like a toddler with his diet, isn't he? Right, who's good at talking? It is Amado. As our preacher, I feel that it's appropriate. Tell him the benefits of of being a member of a cult. Please do. Eckhart's researching at the moment. Right, so medicine is expensive from him. Components are also expensive, but I need them really, so I do generally tend to take them. 157 is quite expensive, but how we can make that up is we can sell some stuff back to him. Now, the wine we won't be using, so we can sell that back to him, and we can also get him high on some other drugs as well, because we don't want those. Is it, no, I don't know about buying the one. Is it worth buying one medicine off him? I don't think it is. We'll sell the slave collar. How much money has he got? 225. He hasn't got anything to sell to us. So I suppose I might as well take the medicine just to balance the trade deal a bit, and I'll sell him some slave collars. Does the Vermax have a use for those? Well, apparently they do, so he can have one no matter what, and he can have finally that. And they're 4 pieces of silver just to make him happier. So from that deal, we got 3 components and a medicine. It's not ideal, but it will do. Now, having the hospital here and the prisoner rooms here, maybe we can have our, well, what do we want? A medicine store, I suppose. Somewhere close to both. I was looking here for something. I suppose I don't actually need a dedicated, well, I suppose I can actually. I can do it like this. I can have one which just comes down like that. And the medicine could just be lying on the ground like so. That's fine. I don't like having the butcher table here. It would be quite nice to perhaps move it into here. Yes, we'll do that. We'll have a dedicated room and we can move the prosthetics workbench out as well. For now, the kitchen is not looking ideal. We need sort of a dedicated production room. I'm trying to think about where would be good for it. The resources are close to here and they're close to here. Here! This would be ideal, really. If I build that like so, that should be good. And I may even have a second door into the colony as well up there. Sorry, I'm trying to think about the symmetry. It's all about the symmetry in this colony. It's very important. I have a steel door here and a steel door at the bottom. And this could just be a random store in which we store medicine, which we don't have any of currently. But I'll store things like organs and bionics back there as well. I do want to get a door built here as soon as possible, and I'll try and make up for it by getting embouchures built on either side. So we have got some defensive positions here. That would be good, wouldn't it? Slate. No. Marble. That'd be good. Like so. Fantastic. Anyone idle? Yes, one idle. Kenny is idle. what can you do? This is the problem. He doesn't do very much. He's passionate about what he's interested in hunting. He doesn't have a ranged weapon. That's not an option then. We've got no one to warden or handle, so I suppose he's just stuck doing what he is for now. I suppose if nothing, we could put him up to a priority 1 researcher, so we can free Eckhart up to do something else. Oh, it is tempting to capture him, isn't it? How friendly am I with the Wehrmacht? It was the 91st Infantry. Oh, that brings me back to my old Hearts of Iron days. That does. Speaking of which, do I want to do it again? I don't know. I change my mind about it all the time. Sometimes I have a real craving to play it. Other times I feel like I've done it. Like it's a game I've played so much of that I don't think there's much I could do with it anymore. Hearts of Iron 4 I'm not interested in. I will just say categorically, unfortunately. I just feel like it has no strategic depth, unfortunately, anymore. And whilst I do commend some of the things that it has achieved, for me, it doesn't interest me. I was always more interested in like the tactical side of it, of Hearts of Iron, and I feel like ever since Hearts of Iron came out, Hearts of Iron 4, I feel like it's more of a clicking game. Like you set up your build priorities and you set up your industry and stuff like that, and that's more important than the actual tactics you employ in the battlefield. I don't like that. I'm sorry. I don't enjoy that. So what are we setting this? We're setting this to items, I suppose manufactured it would be under. Was it item? Is it items? Was it manufactured? Yeah, medicine. We'll put in here for now. We'll put in bandages as well. That sounds like a good thing to put in there. Put a neurotamine in here. Oh, that's not refined adamantium. Neurotamine in here because that's an ingredient for medicines. So that's quite important. And we will also put any body chunks. Body parts. Here we go. So put those in there as well, natural and artificial. So that'd be good. I don't want these slave things in here. What are they doing in here? Get rid of them. I suppose that'll get around to hauling them. Anyway, my timer is up. I have really enjoyed this episode as per normal. My colony is quite surprisingly efficient. It's not very dramatic at the moment. I've just noticed there is a raid to come. So this has been an entirely peaceful episode. So come the next part, there's going to be a raid straight away. I promise you. I've been Big G. Thank you for watching. See you in the next part. Goodbye.